Have an alert for you now. We are just getting video of Speaker Boehner arriving back in the House moments ago. They are starting the vote. They are about to start the vote.
For what purpose is the gentleman from Kentucky?
And they're going to take the vote now on the bill that's been sent over from the Senate. Monica and Bernard are back with me. It's going to pass. I mean, listen, there's some drama, I guess, but it's going to pass. The question is, by how many votes? And, you know, did the president do anything to queer the deal when he came out and spoke in between the Senate vote and the House vote? We think not, because it was pretty even in tone. Bernard, your thoughts?
I think what we have to say is what got accomplished here. Well, we cost $26 billion to economic output. We killed the GDP by a third. The Republican brand is in tatters. It's at its lowest favorability level of any party in the history of Gallup polling.
Sound like John McCain.
This is
what John McCain was saying
The Republicans
earlier.
have managed to do the near impossible. What is that? One, we're up 7 points in the generic ballot on Congress, and two, support for Obamacare has actually spiked 7 points. So from a strategy, this was a train wreck.
And yet, Monica, I hear from the Tea Party caucus, and I hear from viewers who are aligned with them ideologically, and they are on their feet cheering Ted Cruz and these members saying, I don't care that they didn't bow down and kiss the party ring. It is about time somebody stood up and fought for me and what I believe in, and I want major reform, not by inches, not by, you know, yards, by a mile. And Ted Cruz speaks for me.
And for somebody to actually stand up and fight and understand what this fight is about. You know, Bernard talks about the Republicans, and the Republicans certainly made their share of mistakes over the last couple of weeks here, but this is less about the Republicans than it is about the president. You heard him this afternoon. You've heard him over the last few weeks. You've heard him over the last 5 years, Megyn. This is a man who has not changed one iota. He has never compromised. He has never negotiated. He has his eye on the ball, which is what he called in 2008 the fundamental transformation of the nation. And because his strategy of no compromise, no negotiation, my way or the highway, has worked for him this whole time, and because the Republicans, by and large, continue to cave, why would he change his tune? He is not going to. So the Republicans like Ted Cruz, who understand what the true nature of this fight is about, and are saying, listen, I'm not going to play on his playing field. I'm actually going to fight back for the conservative base, for a lot of Republicans, and I think for a fair share of independents. That means a hell of a lot.
But as we look at the debt limit that's about to go up, right, and we look at the count of the national debt behind you, so I think it was Charles Krauthammer was positing on a special report tonight that this is a president who, quote, wants to spread the wealth, that he wants big government. He doesn't want to have a meaningful discussion about entitlement reform. And the thing that he keeps saying to these Republicans is, maybe we'll discuss it if you'll raise taxes, which he knows is dead in the water, a non-starter.
Here is where I would fault the president. And here's where I think that would be a welcome change in the last quarter of this year before we go through this again at the beginning of next year. And that is not in failing to negotiate on this, not on failing to compromise on this, but on failing to build strong personal relationships with, frankly, any member of Congress on either side on Capitol Hill. That's been a huge impediment, I think, to forging an alliance and being able to move the country forward. And I'm hoping that out of this, the president's going to understand that he's got to go down to Capitol Hill, he's got to rub shoulders, and he has to maintain some real relationships with people in the way that Clinton and Newt Gingrich did, despite their differences, and the way that Reagan and Tip O'Neill did, despite their differences.
I think part of the problem here is that we are treating Barack Obama as if he's a run-of-the-mill Democrat, like a garden variety Democrat. He's a completely different ball of wax, completely different agenda, and we better understand that, and fast.
And by the way, we just heard they're going to have an hour debate and then the vote. That's what I'm being told in my ear. And just to clarify, when you say rub shoulders, does he have to like rub shoulders left, like my left to your right, or does it like, you know, like this?
It should be equal.
and you were right, Megyn, on the left.
Just wanted to make sure.
No, I think you rub left and right.
All right, thank you guys.
You bet.